Welcome! After playing Final Fantasy XIV obsessively over the recent years, I am now experiencing for the first time the pre-expansion hype. And with how many people are talking about the new trailer, jobs and reveal locations, I also want to throw my hat into that ring and talk about what we see and what may be implied in the newest extended trailer for Dawntrail. It is interesting to look at the details and try to find clues in them, and I want to record my predictions to see if any turn out to be correct later this year. Be warned that there may be a few spoilers for the MSQ, in case you're not yet caught up on it, and let's begin. First of all, I want to take a look at the science and what they are doing, starting with Estinian, who is using his dragon fighting experience to become a hero for the locals. This is something we already saw in the previous versions of the trailer. Alize got an extended scene, with her traveling to the market and seemingly being really excited about the fish there, which is understandable as we all love fish. Y'shtola is researching local statues, though we still do not know the reason. But it may be related to Tancred's inquiries about this map. Also, in the extended trailer we see confirmation that this Nutkin is Tancred's minion. You may remember this little fellow from After the Heavensward storyline, where he valiantly guarded Tancred's decency. So, not much has changed. I do hope we will see this guy in the Dawntrail story. Now, previously we saw that Tancred is pointing behind him, towards Urianger's table, but in the extended trailer we see that Urianger is actually looking on from pretty far away. This makes it less certain whether Urianger and Tancred will be traveling together in the upcoming storyline, but I still think they probably will. Plus, you clearly can see Tancred's gunblade right there at Urianger's table. Graha is obviously enjoying his taco, making me want to get one, but now we see a wider shot with him, transitioning into the new job reveal. Showcased by none other than Kryl. She seems to be entertaining the locals during the festivities, and I am quite glad for her. She was previously vexed by not being able to contribute in combat on par with other scions, but now we know that she will be in the new expansion Duty Finder. Scene is reminiscent of Shadowbringers trailer showing Dancer job, but is prolonged by us following the Pain Spriggan, which actually shows more interesting stuff which I will mention later. Final scion we see is Alphino, who is one scion we see on the boat and not in the city, but he does talk about the new adventure, which may hint on what he is going to do upon arrival. Now, from the FanFest in Vegas, we already know that the scions will be divided in the new story, in a contest that may involve the City of Gold. And based on the trailer, I want to make a prediction on how they would split up. In the trailer we see Y'shtola doing some research and Tancred asking around with a map that seemingly has a lot of rivers in it. Both things may be showing them searching for the City of Gold in Yogg-Toral. As I said before, I don't think Urianger and Tancred will be separated in the upcoming story, and it is very easy to imagine those two on the same side. And I believe Alphino, who is eager for a new adventure, would join the other three in search for the treasure. You may however say that Y'shtola and Tancred are both looking for the City of Gold, but they may be doing that while being on the opposing teams. But I want to argue against that because of how other scions are shown. 3 of the remaining 4 seems to already have pretty close ties to the locals. Estinian is the most obvious example, helping with the monster problems, but Kryl also seems to be on friendly terms with people of the city, as she's putting on a great show for them. Alize is not doing anything special in the trailer, but she also seems to be close with locals to the point of being given fruit as a friendly gesture. That leaves Graha, who is just enjoying local cuisine, but in that his scene also feels a bit similar to Alize, which is why I am putting him in a second team. So I believe that scions may split into 2 teams, one of which will be working close with the local population, helping them with their problems, and the other would be more focused on searching for the City of Gold and other secrets, but maybe will not be as close with the people as shown by Tancred's failure to get information. Also, this is unintentional on my part, but this theory kinda splits science in groups by seniority. Y'shtola, Tancred, Urianger, and Alphino are all scions who meet early in the 2.0, while Alize, Kryl, Estinian and Graha all join the efforts later at different points in the main story. But what about the Warrior of Light, who is also part of the science? I do not think that we will join one side or the other, but instead will help everyone as we usually do, though that prediction is unrelated to the trailer breakdown. In the trailer we see Warrior of Light fighting the giant Mammal Jah, whom we know to be the current leader of Tural, as shown during the FanFest. This definitely hints on a story trial featuring this guy, but I don't think it necessarily shows that he will be our enemy in the story, because this fight does not feel like a fight to the death. Looking at the previous expansion trailers, Warrior of Light is shown to be very serious when fighting. Fight to the death with Zenith, struggle with the Sin Eater, even the fights with random monsters in Endwalker trailer. But here, in this fight with a giant imposing enemy, Warrior of Light is smiling, just happy to be back in action and show off the new Viper job. And I think last time we saw that was during the Stormblood trailer, in the friendly sparring with Lise. So in this case I also believe this to be either friendly sparring or a test of strength. Speaking of battles, take a look at the dinosaur that Estinian fights with. This creature has some weird purple slime on it, and I think it is not a natural part of this creature, but some external corruption. Natural colors for this monster seem to be black for scales and red for belly and joints. Purple looks out of place. In fact, it looks very similar to the Estinian's attack trail color, though I do not think that is the connection. It also looks very similar in color to the promotional art for one of the dungeons. We also got a screenshot with similar colors in what looks like an underwater area. Perhaps this purple stuff from the cracks distorts the local wildlife. Note that the monster bursts out from the water in the jungle area on top of this huge mountain in Tural. With how many waterfalls there are, I wonder, where does all this water come from? And it just might be some underground connection between the mountain and the underwater areas, which would provide a direct line to the purple corruption. Speaking of the color purple, that is the main color of Solution 9 located in Tural, and we can also assume that this location is not far from it, with the whole area looking like a Wild West oil rush setting. In fact, I believe that the inspiration for this was the Pennsylvania oil rush in the 19th century. And while the new areas video does not show any people, I believe we can see them easily in the extended trailer. Among the people who are wearing colorful local garbs, you can easily spot groups of people wearing the same work uniform with suspenders, which you can absolutely imagine someone wearing in a Wild West work setting. These people are here for the festival, but they don't look like they exactly belong. You can see two people here, also here, which may be the same people, also the same people in the next shot, which I like as it shows continuity between camera angles. You see another person in this shot, and a bunch of them in this top-down view, including the guy in the hat whom we see here, and boy, he is interested in that pineapple. One of the girls Tancred talks to is wearing the same uniform, as well as a bunch of people in the background. Also this group of people who also want to try some tacos, and a few people in the crowd watching Trial. Bland work uniforms make these people really stand out, as well as the fact that they don't really mingle much with other people. Exceptions are this person talking to the Hrothgar, and also most notably this girl, enjoying the festival with her friend before being interrupted by Tancred. And that contrast in people represent contrast in two parts of the continent, which you can kinda see in this shot. Tural is full of green jungles and waterfalls, while Tural is much more barren, though it also has some water on that side too. These shots with Spriggan flying around also give us a good look at the bridge connecting two parts of the continent. And you can see both in the trailer and on the continent map that the city of Tulialal is located only on one side of the bridge, with the bridge being the only obvious passage between south and north, not counting the sea routes. It almost makes it look like a defensible position. So in case there is some danger in the north, it can be stopped on a bridge. And while most people live in the south, there are workers who travel north and manage the drilling operation. I can also theorize that they drill for the same thing that causes corruption on the monsters, though the fire plumes we see in this image are not exactly purple, so I may be off the mark with that one. But I can imagine the story where this drilling has upset some balance and now corruption is seeping from Tural to Tural, maybe through the underwater caves under the ravine between the two. but this is as far-fetching a prediction as the one about how the science would split up. In any case, that is all I got from this trailer, and now all that is left is to wait and see if I got anything right. So, thank you for listening, and good luck to all of you in Tural later this year.